Welcome back to another edition of Husker Huddle here on the Husker Sports Network. I'm your host on this, Jeremiah Jerald. Today we are joined by fellow Husker Pipeline member, former member I guess, as same with me, Jerald Foster. He was a great mainstay here for a long time, team captain here through the years that he played at left guard. He got a chance at the NFL. We're actually part of the same agency, the One West Sports team here. So Jerald, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Yeah, out in Colorado right now, just enjoying life. So it's
Absolutely.
a good time.
I just got back from a week-long elk hunt out there in Colorado. It was a great time. Where are you living at now?
I'm in Castle Rock. It's like right between Denver and Colorado Springs. So
Very
it's
nice.
nice.
Very nice. Well, Jerald, one thing we like to do here on Husker Huddle is just kind of catch up with guys on what they've been up to since they left Nebraska and kind of their story and how Nebraska has kind of helped them propel through life here. So we know that you had a chance there. You had a stint with the Washington Redskins as you left Nebraska here. Talk a little bit what that was like for you and then kind of your transition out of football after that as well.
Yeah, no, it was a whole lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of guys that I'm still friends with. I feel like that's football for everybody. You know, it doesn't matter how long you're somewhere. You're always going to find a good group of guys and, you know, grinding every single day with them. It's a different kind of connection. I really do believe that, you know, sports, it brings you together. The other, you know, big one would be all of my friends that I know that are in the military. They talk the same about just how, you know, when you have to be by each other every single day, you have to work with a guy every single moment that you guys are doing anything, that it really does make you feel like family. So that was a whole lot of fun. After I was done there, I ended up getting into the XFL. I was down in Tampa, and for the games that we played, it was a whole lot of fun, crazy atmosphere. You know, a whole lot different than the NFL. They kind of wanted us to, you know, showboat, have fun, be out there. So we did, at least the guys down in Tampa. And unfortunately, you know, this year with how COVID has been, it cut our season short at the start of the year. But I am happy that football's back. Talking about, you know, football being back, Nebraska, being able to get all their stuff going. I'm excited. I am so excited to be able to be out here with all these Buff fans, and I get to wear my Nebraska stuff. But no, yeah. That was pretty much how it all went. Talking about how Nebraska affected, you know, where I'm at right now. The guys that I worked out with after I was done in Nebraska, we worked with a guy named Chris Slatt, and pretty much he knew Nathan Gary really well, and from there extended out to all of us. I call him family now, but he works out. He works out a lot of older guys throughout Nebraska, and one of the guys was a dude named Edward Ring, and he's the person that ended up giving me a job out here in Colorado. He saw me and knew my background was in construction management, and he was like, "Do you want to go out to Colorado?" He was like, "I know with COVID and everything, football is really not as open for guys, so if you would like to, you know, start your career, we'd definitely like you." And I was like, that sounds like a whole lot of fun. So I've been out here. It's been great.
That's awesome, man. I actually just, funny you mentioned that, I just did a networking event with the Husker Life Skills Department last night for all second-year Huskers, talking about the importance of making connections while you're in your sport. And it's just crazy. I mean, Nebraska football opened so many doors for me to really be sitting here interviewing you for the Husker Sports Network. It opened doors for you that allowed you to step into your career. Talk a little bit about how important that was, networking, and kind of what it meant for you to use that network once football was over to kind of help navigate the next paths.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that Nebraska does. It does so well. They allow you to understand, you know, a degree, it is amazing, right? A degree it's something that we're all shooting for, but your ability to connect with people and your ability to build your relationships is another part of it. And at Nebraska, with life skills, they're pushing you towards that goal of being able to understand each other, understand individuals, and I really do think that's what allows me to do so well now. From the academic support that we have to our life skills support, it just sets you up. It really makes it hard to fail. So as long as everybody just keeps listening to Dennis and listening to Keith, I think they'll be good.
Yeah, your mother happened to be a part of that call. Wonderful lady. Charlie Foster is an incredible woman. She does some great things with diversity and networking as well, piece there. So she had glowing things to say about you, as any mother would.
Make you sound great.
Absolutely. Well, Jerald, now that you've had a chance now to take off the cleats, kind of look back on your career, I know this is something that I did that was harder for me to do, but I really enjoyed it. What were some times back at Nebraska? I know being with the guys, and just really that you reflect on that you're like, man, that was a really cool moment for me, or those were really cool weeks or months or years, or what were some of the really standout moments from your career as a Husker that you will never forget as you move forward in life?
Well, I would definitely say just being able to be humbled in your first year. Coming out of high school, you feel as though you're the man on the mountain, right?
Top dog.
Then you finally get there and you see that your mountain's a hill, and now you're looking straight up and you're like, goodness gracious, I can't imagine being able to be up there with those guys. But I think just being humbled by the guys that I had and the guys that I was able to look up to, you being one of them, it just made it so I was not only did I understand that I had a lot more that I could do, in my sport, but I understood that I got great support here. And as long as I take advantage of that, I think I could do great things. So that's one thing that I have always thought is like the coolest thing ever. I came in the first week and you just see these dudes in the weight room doing things that don't make sense. Out on the field, we were running what was our first quarters, and we could barely get through one. You guys are laughing through the first two, and I was like, "Well, this is gonna be a crazy year." But yeah, from all of that's what really made it special to me. And then I guess that pushed me forward. We're gonna look to senior year, being able to be that for the up and coming guys. After you've seen it and you've loved, having those guys there for you, you want to do that for the next group. And I took it upon myself, and I know a good amount of the guys did. With us coming in with a new staff, our senior year, we're all like, we need to make this the easiest transition. We need to make it so that the guys, they don't see negativity in the rooms. We need to be able to push forward because it's something that's amazing. When you have a good group of leaders and a good group of guys to follow what that'll push you to do. So hopefully this year is going to be a great year for our Huskers. We're all excited. I can't wait to watch out here. So it's going to be a fun time.
Absolutely. Well, some of those young guys, Jerald, that you were with are now the mainstay guys, right? I mean, I think of Brendan Hymas. I think of Matt Farniak. You got Cameron Jurgens in there. And then you've got a group of young guys over there. I mean, you got Bryce Benhart. You got Banks. You got these young up-and-comers. Talk a little about the guys that you know. Talk a little about the guys that maybe you didn't have a ton of time with. But this Husker offensive line this year, for me, should be a staple for them. I think it should be one of their strong suits. What are your thoughts on the pipeline this year?
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm happy to see that they're finding stability back in the room. Our senior year, we had, what was it?
I think
three
of
the
you,
starters.
right? Yeah. Foster, Utter, and Farmer?
Or Conrad.
Conrad, that's who it was.
Yep. Yeah, so us three being seniors and leaving that, it left kind of big holes, but these guys stepped up. Like you said, Hymas, Farniak, they are the leaders, and it's really good to see. It's great to see guys getting opportunities and taking advantage of them. I'm excited. The young guy, what was the young tackle's name that's
Bryce
in there
Benhart.
now? Yeah, he was talking to me, so I was done, obviously, but I was walking around one of the days at the practice, and he came up and he was in one of his recruiting trips, and he was telling me if how amazing this place is,
Hmm.
and I was just trying to give him my spiel, tell him what I felt like is so great about Nebraska. And from that, he was like, "Thank you so much for talking to me. I was so happy that older guy would come up and spend time with me." I'm like, if that's all I gotta do, that's the easiest thing ever. Talk football. So I'm happy to see he's doing well too. This is a great offensive line. I know that they're all ready for this year that's finally here.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about a wild year, man. Try and, as well, my last question for you here is just kind of where you might think that I like asking guys this. I know people have asked me, like, you're going into your senior year and you have this whole mess that happens to you. Like, how do you mentally handle it? Like, what would your message? You were a team captain. The team captains here are going to really have to rally and kind of really rally the troops for the third time of like, let's gear up for a season here. Like, what would your message be, or what would you do to try and really try and focus everyone in, get prepared to go start your season in late October?
Yeah. Well, the message that I would have had at the start would have been patience. Obviously, there are big frustrations throughout this year. Guys wanting to play, I understand it completely. But just having a little bit of patience that there's always the light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't matter how curvy it is, and
Hmm.
for them to be where they're at now, rallying the troops. Hopefully, it's a lot simpler than what I'm thinking it is. In my head, it's like there have to be guys that are in lulls, uh, but for the guys that aren't, for the guys that have stayed steadfast, and everybody that feels like this is our time. They need to be the ones that pull their guys out of the gutters. They need to be the ones that make every single workout for what has been the past week amazing. Um, with all of that, Coach Frost, I know his staff. They are a group that are going to be able to get these guys ready. As long as they come into this first game with their mindset on we can still do crazy things, they're going to have a good year. I don't know exactly how I would have been if I would have been starting in October, though.
One more thing here. You mentioned the staff here for Frost. Talk a little bit on what Greg Austin is and what he means to this offensive line room. He's done a phenomenal job since he's gotten here, I think. And I mean, he's worked with a lot of different guys that came from a lot of positions, switching new offenses, and you haven't really seen development, which I think is what you want to see from college coaches. How was he in your development? What was most exciting working with Greg?
Well, I would say from just seeing the people that he's brought up, you can tell that he is the rock in the sand. There are a whole lot of people that their foundation it crumbles, but for his, it's strong. He understands what he wants, and he believes in what he's been doing with the guys. So with all that's what I think you're able to see. So many guys that are getting better, so many guys that are improving on their game because they're able to understand that this guy isn't just trying to figure it out for one game. He's not just trying to make it so that they can get through whoever they have to be going against. He's trying to make them a better player at the end of the day, and he's going to make you into the best that you can be before you get out of the program. So it was a whole lot of fun having our year together. I was happy that he's a guy that not only knows a lot but asks a lot of questions. One thing that will stick with me, it was Garrison back when he told me he was like because it was pretty much he was talking to the whole offensive line, but it was more for the young guys to kind of hear it that as the seniors they might know more than you, but they will still ask you questions because if you see something that is obvious that as a guy that hasn't been out there and you're able to see it and you're able to correct it, that's something that needed to been corrected a
Mm.
long time ago. And I feel like that's where he is too. That's where Coach Austin is. So hats off to the guy. He's not only a great coach, he's a great person. And I know the pipeline is in great hands.
Absolutely. Well, Jerald, we thank you here for joining us here on Husker Huddle and the Husker Sports Network. We're going to continue to follow you in your career, whatever it might be. You share that special bond that all of us share. Anything you want to say here to Husker Nation before we let you go?
Just stick behind the boys. It's going to be a crazy year. We're all excited for it. That's all I got.